Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast from Mashin Sentai Kiramager. I am Vashi V, and the faceless one over there is.
Oh, right. I didn't realize my camera wasn't on. All right, here I
It's okay,
am.
everybody got a good shot of your.
I'm sure everyone got a good shot at, the Discord I had up because still was looking at it when I turned it on. So whatever. Welcome to Kiramager, episode 24.
Halfway through.
Yep.
Well, I say next week, given preview, but yeah.
But we don't know if this show's getting a full 50 or if it's just 48. So yeah, about halfway
Right.
through right now. So, anyways, this is our music episode.
Again.
Yeah, it's a music festival.
Which apparently is 2 weeks long, and that's it.
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, okay, so Takamichi hasn't done one yet. Does he get something?
Like that's what I was waiting on when I saw when the preview started. I was like, ooh, what's the musical theme gonna be next week? Oh, it's setting up that. Never mind.
But yeah, so uh, there's this kid in the hospital that likes to play guitar, but he doesn't think he's any good at it. Uh, and he needs surgery, but uh, he's not really willing to go through with it because the surgery would, you know, the operation would help him with it, like be able to continue playing guitar, but he doesn't care, so he's not motivated. So Sayo and some of the other doctors are putting together a band to play a song the kid actually composed the music for, with lyrics that Sayo wrote to try and motivate him.
So based on that, who's a better doctor, her or Emu?
Emu would just play Do Re Mi Fa beat with the kid.
Yeah, to me, this is going that extra step. Look at me. You don't need to play the guitar. You can play this game instead.
Music can be fun. Uh, because he keeps saying that music is boring. Uh, so naturally, our villain of the week is a music one. They're basically a radio, and the music being transmitted to them is Carantula on the violin, and he's intentionally playing it bad.
See, this is just one of those things where I would have loved if the end of the episode, him and Garuza would have played correctly. Like just to do the whole, yeah, we know we can do this legitimately. We're not just screwing around. But yeah, it was odd to see Carantula twirling around with the violin.
So the initial encounter isn't anything special. You get a neat little fight scene, but ultimately it just amounts to shooting the antenna off so he can't receive the sounds, so he has to run away. And he runs away so fast that even Cena can't keep up with him.
She didn't even try. She took 2 steps forward and went, nope. Like, to me, this whole thing, like this whole first set, was just enough to warrant the monster to go away for a while and to set up the actual plot of the episode,
Yeah.
which is 90% of the episode.
Yeah, no, not much actually happens this episode, but it is still pretty wholesome.
Oh, it's fantastic. I freaking love Kara Major because of episodes like this.
Uh, so during the monster's attack, the other doctors in the band, uh, crashed, and so they're all too injured to play. They're all mostly fine, they're just gonna need some time to recover.
Right.
But now the band can't play because there's no one to play. Or is there? Juru decides, hey, I'm learning guitar in school. I'm sure the others can learn an instrument.
Well, the way the beginning of the episode starts off is with him. It wasn't the fact that he was learning how to play, it was he was practicing for the cultural festival. So I took
Right.
that as he knew how to play, he's just practicing.
Oh.
And then, Cena made the comment that she played an instrument, and it just spiraled out from there.
Uh, and so, like, the gemstones, as we found out, their role is to basically motivate and talk up the Kiramagers to keep their confidence up. So each of them begins talking up the Kiramagers, who are all just like, no, that's going too far. I don't know how to play an instrument.
Uh, to me, the best two were Cena's mock. Elegant. The way he views Cena is amazing. And then
Dude
Shovalo
stands
going,
her hard.
and then Shovalo talking up Tametano.
Tommy Tono can play any instrument. No!
No!
But I do know how to sing.
And then, Jet not knowing the
Oh,
difference
right.
between acting.
Yeah, Shigeru played a guitar in a role once. I was just acting, though. Like, he was probably just standing there holding it, pretending to strum.
The reason why I have questions for later in this episode.
Yeah, were they actually playing the instruments when they do the band thing?
Right. Like I'm more interested, like I said, in Sayo because acting wise, if she was just acting, that was a phenomenal job of acting. Because like I said, everything that she's doing is in time with the sound. So she's hitting the cymbal or one of the cymbals when you hear the cymbal, she's hitting a part of the drum when you hear each of the beats. It's like it's all accurate in terms of hitting the areas that she should be hitting, but it's is she hitting the right parts? Is she legitimately playing versus just making it look like she is? If you're talking, I can't hear anything.
Oops, I was still muted. So then Takamichi walks in and is like, hey, I'll help too. So they make him the roadie.
After he, mimes playing the guitar on Shiny Breaker, and they just go, no.
Someone's got to pack up the instruments in the van.
Like I love the way that Sayo kind of coerced him on that without telling him what the roadie is. It's just no,
It's an
you support
indispensable
us.
role that supports the band.
She's not wrong.
Yeah,
by
no.
any means.
I'm honestly surprised no one told him, like, hey, bring some water to practice for us.
Right. Like it was. I'm actually more amazed that they didn't do more with Mabushina for this.
Right, it seemed
I, I
like...
get that Mabushina had her own little thing last week, but beyond her being very excited at the end, not much of her in this episode.
So, the band practices, and Sayo scolds everyone for not taking it seriously enough.
Right after basically telling them the whole point is to have fun. And she kind of goes into a very accurate role of, hey, this needs to be done this way, and we only have so much time to do it, so we need to focus and get it done and get it done right.
Shouldn't we focus on having fun, though? Yeah, sure, if you think it's fun to suck.
Right, and pretty much is what she's saying, and it's fucking great. But the fact that like it goes one scene and it's like she 180'd her outlook for it. It was, yeah, this is accurate and also scary.
Uh, so they end up practicing all night until they finally get it. Takemichi even falls asleep while they're
While waiting.
practicing, right? And then he wakes up and is like, "Oh, you guys got it? All right, let me hear it." And Shigeru is just ready to
Points his face
points
at him like a sword.
like, "Don't you even go there." So the Jamenshi needs to fix its broken antenna. Uh, and we find out that like the way the Jamenshi have been reviving their broken parts has been by consuming darkness. And this
You know,
week's
24 episodes, and they basically finally fully explain that.
uh, it doesn't come up that often, but when it does, like it's usually just, oh, they fixed it off camera. Now we find out that they're absorbing
How they're doing
darkness
it.
off of people to repair themselves, and so this Jamenshi grows a close connection to the child who needs the operation because, hey, you've got a lot of darkness coming off of you. You must really hate music.
Nom 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 nom.
And so the antenna is fixed, and Garuza decides to step up to the mic with his guitar.
Fuck, that was fantastic.
And so that's the music that gets blasted over the speakers and uh, starts causing destruction and havoc. And the kid is like, "See, music is bad."
So I'm laughing because Pixie is listening along, and as we were talking, it played for her us talking about the darkness, and she just goes, "The Nega Force. Where's Sailor Moon?"
Uh, wrong part of Japan.
Yeah, that's North Tokyo. This is South Tokyo.
So the Kiramager show up to fight the monster, and Sayo reveals herself to the kid to talk to him. And then he gets absorbed into the Jamenshi.
Because reasons.
Yeah, because reasons, I guess. It's a little unclear.
I feel it was more just so they could have that introspective moment.
Right. It's just something we haven't seen any Jamenshi do. Then again, we've never seen
Right.
anyone, like, directly leech off of a person before.
Right. We've seen them turn them into things, rushing nesting dolls, marshmallows, coins. But this is new. This is different.
This one is directly feeding off of darkness. So while Takemichi does his job to support the band by keeping the Jamenshi distracted, the rest of them go grab their instruments and play the song. Hacked into the speakers, the signal, so that they're playing their song over instead of Garuza's.
Like this is one of those things where it's 100% ex machina their way to victory. But it just leads to funny shit, so I'm okay with it.
Right. So, uh, while this is going on, Garuza doesn't notice that he's no longer transmitting and just keeps jamming out.
Currentula notices it, goes, yeah, no, I'm out.
Yeah, I don't want to be here when he finds out. Like, it's such a genuine joy to see the villains having fun.
Right, like, and it's why I loved Red Soldier as much as I did. Creon and Wiseru, especially when those two were together, it was just fun. Yeah, it got dark here and there, like, but it was just fun. 90% of it, Creon was just having fun. Sentai's greatest goddess. I don't care what anybody else says.
So the kid hears the music and sees that, like, wait, the music that I composed is making people happy? And so he's able to escape the Jamenshi on his own so that Takamichi can finish him.
Fairly standard at that point.
And Jamenju drops in, and then you get your standard mech fight. Not much special.
And my favorite joke in this episode.
What was that? Because I don't remember.
Juru, i.e., the younger generation, going, "What's a jukebox?"
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, that is
100% accurate to what would happen.
That now is the state of today's youth.
It's like 100%. Takamichi would know because he's Showa.
It's like when we were kids, jukeboxes were already starting to die out.
Right, but they were still around. Like there were key places where you knew you would see one.
And they were still referenced in media a lot. But nowadays, it's not a thing anymore.
I mean, to be fair, those jukeboxes were still being referenced in 2005.
The only place I know I can find a jukebox, I haven't been there in a while, so I don't know if they've actually gotten rid of it. But if they still have it, then there's one pizza place I think still has one.
Now, bars still have them, but they're not the traditional jukeboxes. Like, it's not one with CDs, it's all digital.
Right, because that's just more viable.
Right. It's easier, larger library, and all that. But actual old school physical disc jukeboxes, I don't think there's one in my town at all. If there is, it may be in the bowling alley that recently shut down.
Oh, you also see a bit of a new mech combination with the shark train attaching to the main mech as a
spear lance.
Yeah, sorting
spear lance, shark halberd, whatever the fuck that is.
Like a gun at one point. Like, I don't know. It's whatever the fuck Juru needs it to be.
Right, because initially it's the essentially the dual magnums.
Right.
And then it pieces together as the harpoon lance, and I'm like, it still just looks like a giant shark train that you're just flipping about.
Yeah, it's versatile in its design. But hey, they save the day, and now the kid will go through with his operation because he decides he wants to make more fun music.
Such a sweet, happy ending. Like, all in all, this episode was just fun.
And then all the Kiramagers fucking pass out from exhaustion because they were up all night practicing, and then the monster attacked.
and Takemichi's response, I'm gonna headbutt Shigeru. Hey, Tamitono, prepare your anus.
I don't believe he actually
Which,
said that. That's someone at
right,
TV Neon
and this
just
is
trolling or memeing.
right. I really hope so. But then again, this is very much a thing over there. Oddly enough, and disturbingly enough. So I
Yeah.
could see the
As
Showa era person that being a thing.
as anyone who has seen Naruto is familiar with.
Right. And
1,000 years of death.
there's a lot of different stuff from Japan that it's in too. So it's like uh, I could see it being legit, and I can also see it being, you know, them being funny at TV Nihon, primarily for the wording.
Uh, like it was probably mostly the wording that like someone at TV Neon was just memeing.
We'll know what Thursday, whenever they actually drop the actual episode, not the QC. Because usually that type of stuff ends up getting, removed for obvious reasons.
Shoot!
Bless you. Wanted to make sure you were good. Had to,
You legitimately looked concerned.
It was the holding the microphone, the way your head went from here to here in 1 second.
I didn't want the headset to fall off while I was sneezing. And for anyone who's concerned that I didn't cover my mouth, I sneezed directly into my wall off camera here that I will wash after the podcast.
But I was like, this series is just growing more and more fun. Like, I'm worried to see the end of this series if it decides it wants to get serious. I don't know how I would take that.
So, next week's episode is about Tamitono getting a crush on a woman.
There's brief flashes during it that lead me to believe that welcome to the start of the mid-series power-up.
So they talk about a phoenix at the shrine, and I was shocked that the preview didn't show off any kind of new mech.
Right.
It's like, that's usually like a standard setup for, hey, here's the new power-up.
Like, they showed there's archery involved. Next episode, which, by all spoilers if you don't know, by all scans and everything, the next power up is a bow and arrows. And then, but it also shows Yuru doing the whole drawing thing with what looks to be a giant red shape that's similar to the chess pieces in the scans.
So it could be that like we're looking at a two-parter here.
Right. That's what it looks to be.
That or the next episode preview didn't spoil something, which I refuse to believe.
Right. Given the fact that everything has always ever been spoiled.
It's called advertising.
Right.
Hey, check out the new forms that are gonna appear. You better catch the episode where they appear.
Right. Like for us, it would be the equivalent of, hey, watch this episode of Arrow because we're going to show you in the preview that the Flash is in it.
Right. Or like,
or a character we haven't seen before, but you're going to see them in their suit, so you know who they are. Like when Supergirl finally dropped the whole Superman being in the friggin' show. They did it by showing you fucking Superman. in the preview. So it's that type of thing. And it would terrify me if Toei didn't do that.
So,
Because yeah, the only things that don't only like real power ups that we don't ever see are like the Prime Rogue incidents
the
where
what?
there's a V cinema where they get the power up and then oh hey look at this
Oh,
move, the last couple episodes for some reason he just has the power up.
right. V cinema stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Like outside of that, I've never seen something not get spoiled.
All right. So, thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with Kamen Rider Saber, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you all for joining. For those of you who stick around tomorrow, I will try to keep it under an hour.
I listened to part of that podcast, and when I realized that you guys have been going on for an hour, it's like, man, they're still going. I got things to do. I can't keep listening to this.
Like, and those of you who are still around, I'm going to explain what happened for those of you listening. So YouTube has two different counters. One on the video that tells you how long you've actually been going. And on my screen, it's like this big and it's up here. However, this big right here in the middle of my screen is the average view time, which takes into account how long everybody who's been watching the video has watched it. Currently, the average time for this podcast is sitting at 23 minutes and 33 seconds,
So
whereas we've only been running for 26.
this has never been a problem for me because running OBS, it just straight up says how long we've been live and how long I've been recording.
Right.
So I could just look at that and be like, okay, we've been going for almost half an hour. Podcast has gone on long enough.
Which Zero caught at an hour and 45 minutes when I looked over and went, no, this only says we've only been going for 46 minutes.
It's like,
Not realizing I
no.
was looking at the wrong damn number and it happened to click and I looked up and I was like, shit.
Look at the actual clock. You have not been
Yeah, look
going
at the
for
right
only
one.
46 minutes.
Part of the issue is I have this up, I have YouTube up on my other monitor, and then I had the episode kind of split between the two of them, which was covering up that counter. I've got to find a way to merge the windows better to where I can see the counter and chat.
There might be a program for that.
Yeah, no, I figured it out. I'm a dumbass. Hey, if I take my video the screen all the way to the right, it'll split it in half.
Yeah, that.
And it pops the chat out. Because the weird thing is, like, if I don't pop the chat, if I don't actually mount it to the edge, the chat disappears for me. And I have to scroll to see it. It goes stupid on my computer. But anyways, yes, I will try to keep it under an hour. I'll try to be even less than that because there's not much to talk about this episode.
Bye.